goodness, look at all the people. The color guards are presented by the American Legion Shaw sign on post 73, American Legion Sedlicki post 187, VFW Major Raoul Lufberry post 591, VFW Stanley Budliski post 9965, AMVETS post 83, Wallingford Elks Lodge 1365, Knights of Columbus, Edison Division C Cadet Corps. Thank you, all of you. God Bless America was presented by David Jardina and the Marty Sheehan High School Jazz Combo. The adjudicant of the colors was Christopher Geist from American Legion Shaw sign on post number 73. And at this time, I would invite Reverend Warburton up for the invocation.
Gracious God, we gather in this place this night to swear in a new mayor, a newly constituted town council, and a newly constituted Board of Education. We are here to celebrate a pivotal characteristic of our American democracy, to affirm the decision of the townspeople of Wallingford who cast their votes for the individuals being sworn in to their respective leadership positions. We ask, gracious God, for your blessing upon these persons as they step forward to assume their duties, give them strength and creative insight. When we experience a new beginning, there is an authentic energy, an optimism, and a hope that new leadership will offer a vision that enables positive change, but also assures a sense of responsible continuity. Wallingford's present moment and her future will require the best ideas from every person being sworn in, the hard work of hearing and negotiating input from different perspectives, and the task of governing wisely with an honest devotion to the well-being of Wallingford's people. Gracious God, give our elected leaders the energy needed to be problem solvers and the wisdom to create dynamic yet compassionate plans for our town's future. We, the people of Wallingford, come from many places, backgrounds, ethnicities, and experiences. Yet tonight, we all come here, inspired by a singular mission to struggle for the well-being of all who inhabit this beloved town we call home. As our newly elected mayor, town council members, and Board of Education members assume their responsibilities to lead this community, may they be empowered to be leaders with the utmost integrity, courage, and humility. Gracious God, grant your strength to their time of public service. Bless this day and our town's future endeavors. Amen.
Thank you, Dean. We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you to David Jardina and the Mark T. Sheehan High School Jazz Ensemble. Those of you who have seats, you can be seated. There are some empty seats in front down here if you'd like to sit. And at this time, I'd like to ask my friend, our probate judge, Patrick Burney, to come forward.
Just wonder if you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that you will faithfully discharge, according to law, your duties as mayor of the town of Wallingford, to the best of your abilities, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
I do.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you all very much. I cannot remember the last time I've seen this room this crowded, and thankfully it's for a good reason. So good evening. Thank you all for being here, for those of you who have taken a short trip and for those of you who have taken longer trips to be here. I'm very grateful to all of you. Your support means a lot to all of us. I know that some of you are here for the other 18 people who won elections and are being sworn in tonight. This is the beginning of 2024. The last time a new mayor was addressing the people of Wallingford, it was 1984. During all of 2023, the local press have been very transparent about the results of that simple math. It's been 40 years. Mayor Dickinson, thank you for being here tonight. Joan Stave. Thank you very much for being here. I'm very grateful for your presence and for the support I felt having had the honor to work with you for the past 14 years. Thank you. Joan Stave, thank you for being here tonight. Your 44 years of service to this town certainly ends a great era. Thank you for all you've done. To both of you, under your administration, Wallingford has had some of the most reasonable taxes among similarly situated towns. Wallingford has been the bearer of a top bond rating. Wallingford is among the safest towns of its size in the United States. Thanks also go to the police and fire departments for the last distinction. Overall, this is an excellent town. You haven't left a lot of room to go up from where we are. Nonetheless, we will continue to work to keep Wallingford great with a goal to make it better. I want to thank all of the department heads, here or not, who have taken time to meet with me in the time between Election Day and today. Mayor Dickinson has been very generous about allowing me to start the transition well in advance of today. I'm grateful that the department heads have expressed significant interest in working with me, both before today and through the term. My early interactions with the departments are strong indicators that a successful administration will continue. While the work has begun, we still have a great deal of work to do. I will immediately seek a professional survey of our information technology in all town departments so that the needs can be determined and implementation of this technology can begin as soon as possible. We will gain efficiencies through the use of technology. I will begin the process of identifying work that needs to be done to our infrastructure to come up with a 5-year plan for completion of the projects. For all of this work, I am going to need the cooperation of the council. Those of us who have been here together for the past decade plus understand that anything presently not funded by the budget requires allocation. Therefore, I will be looking to the council. I think we all agree that the move forward needs to get started as soon as possible. In addition to that, our government has continued to operate to provide the services we provide the services we are required to provide. I hope we can all work together to continue these essential services for the people of Wallingford. Thank you again, all of you, for all of your support. Cheers to all of us to 2 successful years. Thank you. I'd like to ask Judge Burney to return to the podium to swear in the town council.
If members of the town council-elect could stand, and please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that you will faithfully discharge, according to law, your duties as members of the Wallingford Town Council to the best of your abilities, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury? I do. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the town council. I will now call the roll. Autumn Allenson.
Here.
Sam Carmody.
Here.
Craig Fishbein.
Here.
Tom Laffin.
Here.
Joseph Marone.
Here.
Christopher Regan.
Here.
Jesse Reynolds.
Here.
Christina Tata.
Here.
Vincent F. Testa Jr.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that we take up agenda item number 11, swearing in on the Board of Education by Judge Burney now, rather than its normal course in the agenda.
Second.
That was moved by Councilor Laffin, seconded by Councilor Testa. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Allenson. Carmody.
Yes.
Fishbein.
Yes.
Laffin.
Yes.
Marone.
Yes.
Regan.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Tata.
Yes.
Testa.
Yes.
That motion is passed. We will skip to number 11, the swearing in of the Board of Education by Judge Burney. If the members of the Board of Education would please come forward.
Could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear, or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that you will faithfully discharge, according to law, your duties as members of the Wallingford Board of Education to the best of your abilities, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury? Congratulations.
At this time, we will go back to item 8 on the agenda, which is the election of the town council chairman. Are there any nominations for town council chairman? Councilor Allenson.
Mayor Cervoni, I'm entering into nomination the name of Tom Laffin for chairman of the town council. Anecdotally, sorry, Steve, I'm stealing it. When tomato gorgonzola soup is on the menu at Michael's, nobody doesn't order it. It's consistently the best soup you'll ever find, and Tom Laffin is that soup for Wallingford. He is the natural choice because after 10 years as vice chair and now being offered on the menu for chairman, Who else would Wallingford order? It should come as no surprise that Tom Laffin is my nominee for chair, since was the one to introduce me to politics in Wallingford and is tied as one of the first two people to befriend me as I entered this strange and very different for me path. His vice chairmanship has afforded him the unique opportunity to fill in for the former chairman, now Mayor Vincent Cervoni, for meetings and agenda planning in his absence. Tom has a great relationship with department heads, has never disparaged departments, as some have, and has always maintained himself as a professional, even when some have acted the opposite, both toward him and toward invitees attending these meetings. I believe Tom's chairmanship will be communicative, supportive, and team-driven. He's always prepared, always responsive to questions when asked. He has a special quality for identifying similar interests in great people, finding common ground, and bringing a true spirit of bipartisanship to the council. For all of these reasons, Tom Laffin is my adamant nomination for chairman of the town council.
Is there a second?
I second.
Mr. Regan?
Ladies and gentlemen, I am before you today to wholeheartedly endorse the nomination of Tom Laffin for the position of chairman. My association with Tom spans nearly 15 years, during which I have had the privilege of witnessing his unwavering dedication to our town. Without a shadow of a doubt, I can attest that Tom consistently places our community's interest above all else, evident in every word he speaks and every action he takes. Tom possesses a remarkable set of leadership qualities that make him an ideal candidate for this office. First, effective communication. Tom is an exceptional communicator who excels at articulating the council's goals, decisions, and policies to any and all parties who ask. His track record as vice chair demonstrates his ability to facilitate open and transparent communication between council members and the mayor. Second, the ability to collaborate. Tom is committed to fostering a collaborative environment within the council where teamwork and diverse perspectives are not only encouraged, but valued. He possesses the unique skill of building consensus among council members, an essential trait for effective governance. Third, promoting transparency. Tom is dedicated to ensuring transparency in government operations, holding the council accountable to the public on matters ranging from budgets to ethical standards and beyond. Fourth, local knowledge. Tom possesses an unparalleled understanding of our local issues, along with a keen insight into the unique challenges and opportunities that our town presents. Fifth, and maybe most importantly, legal and procedural expertise. Tom's mastery-level knowledge of local government laws, regulations, and procedures is a testament to his readiness for the responsibilities of this role. There are many other qualifications, but my time is limited. I will say, in conclusion, I have the utmost confidence that Tom Laffin is not just a nominee, but the best choice for chairman. His passion, experience, and unwavering commitment to our community make him the ideal leader to guide us towards a better future. Thank you.
Nomination and a second for Tom Laffin. Are there any other nominations? Councilor Tata.
Thank you. And first of all, congratulations to our new Mayor Cervoni. I'm so happy for you.
Thank
And also congratulations to our newly sworn in council, including our two new councilors. So I look forward to working with all of you. We are at such an exciting crossroads in Wallingford history, and I am thrilled to nominate Councilor Joe Marone to lead the town council as chairman during this time. Transparency, spirited debate, and not taking things personally. 3 aspects of Joe Marone that I'd like to talk a little bit about. Transparency. Joe believes that everything in government should happen in an open and transparent manner. We have seen time and again how Joe has forced issues to be dealt with in open public forums, both during his time on the Board of Education and the Town Council. Joe served as vice chair of the Board of Education before his 8 years on the council. The Joe Marone you see at meetings is the same Joe Marone you get as a person if you discuss an issue with him. Joe's experience in leadership positions was also seen as him being chairman of the Town Council Ordinance Committee. He ran those meetings during this last term, and they went smoothly and respectfully. Government transparency is something he values as an elected official. When I recently spoke with Joe about becoming chairman, he said to me, "It's not my show, it's our show. If you have an idea, I'll never shoot it down, even if I disagree with it. We'll present it to the council. I can assure the public and this council that there will be no backroom deals with Joe Marone at the helm. Spirited debate is the cornerstone of democracy. Councilor Marone said this to me in casual conversation one day recently, and it struck me as such a profound statement. Councilor Marone thrives on listening to a variety of perspectives and then forming a decision based on this diversity of ideas. There are 9 councilors, and I'm confident that Chairman Marone will encourage all councilors to voice their opinions and strive for their goals to be successful, because we can truly come up with the best solutions for the town if we have open debate and compromise. As is evidenced by his record on the council, Joe's go-to position on every issue is to publicly question and scrutinize it, and he encourages others to do the same. Joe and I are on the phone almost daily, discussing and debating town issues. Sometimes he'll change my mind, sometimes I'll change his mind, and sometimes we just agree to disagree. But we are better off making decisions for the town when we value this open exchange of ideas, and Joe will encourage each councilor to have these exchanges publicly, even if he disagrees with your stance. I'm reminded of the play 1776 and how the fierce debate and sometimes even anger was handled, and how at the end, we received the gift that is America. Joe doesn't believe we should shy away from public-spirited debate. Rather, he embraces it for the fruit it can yield for the betterment of our town. And finally, Joe doesn't take anything personally. In my opinion, one of the most important traits of a leader is to not take things personally. Joe Marone exemplifies this trait. Likeable, affable, and always willing to listen, Joe has treated and will treat each of us with the same respect and openness. And even if we disagree with him or question him, he won't take it personally. Joe has respect for each of us. Even during times of great debate and disagreement, Joe welcomes the disagreement and doesn't take it as a personal affront. Even this decision of who will become chairman tonight should not be taken personally. It is simply about philosophical differences and how the council should be led, and Joe has expressed that. Joe would never let politics become personal, and I know he has an immense respect for every single councilor, no matter how much disagreement has ever occurred. I know that the oath we just took, the paramount reason we all ran for office, to do what is best for this town, supersedes party and politics for Joe Marone. I am confident Joe will be a strong chairman, giving the council the autonomy it requires to successfully handle the business of the town. Joe believes that the council doing the legally required minimum is just that, the bare minimum. Going into a new administration in a transformative time in Wallingford history, let's aim higher. Let's get things done that maybe we haven't been able to get done in the past. Let's honor our past while embracing positive change. Let's have a productive term based on transparency, spirited debate, and not taking things personally. I'm honored to nominate Joe Marone for chairman of the Wallingford Town Council. I'm excited about what we will be able to accomplish for the people of Wallingford under Joe's leadership. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
There's a second. Councilor Fishbein.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I too congratulate you on your being sworn in tonight. I'm sure that you will lead our town to good things in the future. Sometimes they say less is more, and with that, I second the nomination of Joseph Marone to be our town council chairman. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations?
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Carmody.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations to you as well. It is my privilege this evening to nominate my very good friend, the gentleman to the right of me, Councilor Vinny Testa. Vinny has the most experience out of all of us up here and in town government. He served on the Inland and Wetlands Commission for many years, as a member of the Board of Education for many years, and as the longest serving member of this town council. He brings that experience and leadership. He served as vice chair of this council in the past, and I urge this council to vote for Vinny. He will be able to work with all of us and with our new mayor to move this town forward. Thank you.
Is there a second?
I
Mr.
second it,
Reynolds.
Mr. Mayor. Second.
Are there any other nominations? I mean, why stop at 3? Well, all right then. At this point, what I'm going to ask the clerk to do is to call the roll. And as each counselor is called, please identify the candidate that you're voting for.
Allenson,
Tom Laffin,
Carmody,
Vinnie Testa.
Fishbein,
Joe Marone.
Laffin,
Tom Laffin.
Marone,
Joe Marone.
Regan,
Tom Laffin.
Reynolds,
Vinnie Testa.
Tata,
Counselor Marone.
Testa.
Vincent F. Testa Jr. Thank you for that, Mr. Mayor.
We have a three-way tie, a complete standoff, as it were. And at this point, I can either call the same roll and see if there's a different result. Or we can try something else. At this point, I'm not sure what that is.
One more pass. I'm going to motion or entertain that we go for one more pass through and then see where we are and what we need to do after that.
I think I can go ahead with that. So, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll again and see what changes?
Allenson,
Adamantly Laffin,
Carmody,
Vinnie Testa.
Fishbein,
Joe Marone.
Laffin,
Laffin.
Marone,
Joe Marone.
Regan,
Tom Laffin.
Reynolds,
Vinnie Testa.
Tata,
Counselor Marone.
Testa.
Testa.
Same result. My next thought is to consider a recess of this meeting.
I move we take a recess for 7 minutes.
Somebody set your watch. Is there a second?
second.
Moved and seconded. Councilor Fishbein, I think you want to debate.
Yeah, I'm just inquiring as to, we talk a lot about openness and transparency, and we haven't been up here very long. If we're going to take a 7-minute recess so that these people don't hear what we talk about, I don't think that that's necessarily fair. So, if that's the intent, I'm just trying to figure out what are we taking a recess for?
To see if you can resolve collectively how we end up with a chairman tonight. That's one of the goals on our agenda. In the alternative, we can suspend the election of the chairman and the vice chairman and call a special meeting of the council some other night.
No, I got the intent, right? That's the goal. But if we're going to go in the back room and talk about...
You don't have to go in the back room. I'm not telling you where to go.
Okay.
You can.
Well, what's the intent? A recess means that we're just sitting here or we're talking. We can debate, we can talk about, we can negotiate in front of all of these good people of the town of Wallingford. I'm just trying to figure, if we take a recess, are we staying here? I don't understand what...
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, well, I intend to be part of the process.
Mr. Chairman, I withdraw my motion.
Second withdrawn.
Okay.
Happy to debate.
Well then, it sounds like we want to have a debate.
I thought we were giving everybody an excuse to scurry out if they wanted to, but if they want to stay.
All right. Well, I am interested in a format for debating the present problem and a potential resolution. The only resolution is if votes change. So, if you want to do that all in public, that is your prerogative. And we'll just sit here. Mr. Laffin.
I'll speak first. The process to choose the next chairman so far is up to the 9 people, right, that sit up here. It's been pretty public so far since just a couple days after the election. And I think it's clear. And what we have We talk about transparency, right? And I think it's very convenient for people to talk about, I want transparency in everything that happens in front of this desk. But then when we reach the desk or behind the desk, well, hold on, that's different. I'm all for transparency. I'm also all for a positive and collaborative government going forward. There is so much divisiveness, not just in the country, but in the world right now. And the last thing we need to do is make that about Wallingford, where we see a Congress of 435 people in Washington, D.C. get held up by 8 or 11 people, whatever it is, for weeks. We don't need that here. What we learned in the last election is that that's not what Wallingford wants either. We have an opportunity in Wallingford to continue to transcend and set an example. And I'm just looking to do that by positively working and collaboratively working with the new mayor. I did make the motion to go into recess because I thought, sometimes what I learned a couple years ago from Chairman Emeritus Bob Parisi is that when you eliminate egos, you tend to be able to get a lot more done quicker. And I thought giving the 9 people an opportunity to chat a little further without ego would be okay. That's fine if we don't want to do that, because I have nothing to hide or nothing to run away from. There's a lot of talk about, well, the Republicans have 6, they should have 6 seats. Well, that's true, right? They should have full leadership. But you would also assume that the Republican Party then would be behind its newly elected Republican mayor. So you have to choose between the two principles. I'm on the let's work together side. I'm on the let's work for what is going to be best for Wallingford, positively Wallingford. And I think what we need to do is get together and get stuff done. We can do hard things, but we need to do them together, and it doesn't matter what party you're a part of or where you come from. And I apologize that this meeting is going to go on so long, potentially, and that some of you may feel that my reluctance to back off or give up any of those votes would be a part of that. But this is not something that I feel comfortable compromising on. We need to move forward. This isn't moving forward. We've seen over the last several months that gets us nowhere, and it is time to move on. Thank you.
Councilor Marone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So, Reverend Warburton started off tonight.
Not chairman anymore.
I'm sorry, Mayor. My apologies, Mayor. It's going to take me a little while to get used to it, Vinny.
I've had 3 months.
So, Reverend Warburton started off tonight talking about how this event is a fundamental part of our democracy, right? Discussion, debate, putting it all, out in front of the people. And Mrs. Tata talked about, Councilor Tata talked about how 1776 was here 2 years ago, right? 1776, about people from different backgrounds that come together to discuss, debate, and ended up with the birth of a nation, right? Nothing this chamber deals with is going to rise to the level of the creation of a nation. But I think that the example that we can take from them is that everything we do should be in the public view, right? If you decide you don't like my views, then you should not vote for me. And then the system functions, right? So anything done behind the scenes, any backroom deal is not really in the interest of democracy. If I'm selected as the chairman, that's how I'm going to lead, right? Everything is going to be in front of the public as much as possible. No deals, no nonsense. I'm the same person, as Mrs. Tata said, I'm the same person in private as I am in public, right? And that's how it will be. If you want to bring an issue before the council, you bring an issue before the council. Tom Laffin is a really decent person. He's a great guy. And if you select him as your chairman, you are well served as a council. But, just this change, just having this discussion tonight, in the time I've been in elected office, we've never done this, had an open debate about chairman. And to me, this is already a small victory for democracy, because we can openly state why it is that we support who we support. I hear some folks say that this is a mess. I don't think this is a mess at all. I think this is democracy functioning the way democracy was intended to function. So I think Vinny's going to do a fantastic job. I think Mayor Cervone's going to do a fantastic job. I think he's going to be an amazing mayor. But I think that all government, regardless of level, needs to be held accountable. And that's my pledge as chairman, is to hold government, both the mayor's office and this council accountable. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And I did it again, Vinny. I apologize. Mayor Cervone.
I'm already over it. Councilor Testa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations. Okay. I didn't anticipate tonight would be an opportunity to lobby for oneself, but here we are. But that's not really what I want to say. I think it's important that the people of Wallingford understand why we're here at this point in this situation we're in. Historically, traditionally, however you want to say it. When a body is elected, inevitably with an uneven number, there's a majority. And traditionally, that majority is then given the prerogative to select the leadership. It's natural. It happens at all levels of government that have a legislative body. So with very few exceptions over the years, and I've been here for quite a few of them, whatever party earned the majority in the election was able to caucus and select who was going to be chair and vice chair. And it was understood that that was how it's going to be done, but it's a tradition. This year, and the minority party, again, out of tradition, would nominate one of their own, just simply, again, out of tradition, because they weren't necessary for that selection. It was the prerogative. To the victor goes the spoils, so to speak, and I don't mean that in a negative way. This year, we've got a different situation. And in effect, we do not have a majority right now, as far as selecting leadership goes. There are 3 people that want to go with one person. There are 3 people that want to go with another. That's a problem for them. And it's been put upon those of us in the minority, in the public, in the press, and so forth, to be expected to make the decision for them. And we shouldn't be in that position. We should be in a position to be able to say, well, then, why don't we select who we feel would be the best among all of us? And that's what we're doing. If the Republicans are able to caucus and resolve their differences to select a chair, I respect that. I would expect that of them. As we're going into this term, that was the first job they had. And we will go along with that and respect it. I have the utmost respect for Joe and Tom and all of my colleagues. But we, as 3 Democrats, feel we have as much of a right to now nominate me to lead this council, because the whole idea of a majority prerogative no longer exists. It's simply a matter of, there's 9 of us up here, who might do the best job? And I would say, and I thank Councilor Carmody for the kind words, with the experience I've had, and what I've demonstrated over the years of being able to work with all of my colleagues, perhaps the way to move forward in the interest that Councilor Laffin and Councilor Morone mentioned, of moving forward and being productive, perhaps going with a minority chair would be the way to move forward and bring us all together and be the most productive and eliminate partisanship. Because regardless of how this ends up, everybody up here wants to see Wallingford succeed. Everybody up here is going to work together. Everybody up here is going to work with Mayor Cervone so that his plans are productive and we can all see Wallingford get better. So I think understanding the circumstances that exist right now is important for all of you. It's not going to be pretty. I don't think this is going to be settled in a very short amount of time. But I don't think anybody should be looked down upon for what's happening up here. But I think we should look at it maybe perhaps in a little different way. That's all. Thank you.
I don't see any other hands for further debate or discussion. Okay. Still don't see any other hands for further debate or discussion. So, we can call the same roll again and see if there's a different result. Madam Clerk.
Allenson,
Laughlin.
Carmody,
Vinnie Testa.
Fishbein,
Joe Marone.
Laffin,
Laughlin.
Marone,
Joe Marone.
Regan,
Laughlin.
Reynolds,
Testa.
Tata,
Counselor Marone.
Testa.
Same result. Having had debate. Does anybody want to try a coin toss? Yeah. So, we can all stare at each other, or we can discuss continuing the remaining three items at a special meeting to be called tomorrow. Because you are, having called 3 times, you're all steadfast. So I don't think anything's going to change tonight unless somebody has a magic wand or there's a Jedi in the room. Somebody from Asgard, maybe.
Mr. Mayor, having given your suggestion, even if it was not the initial intent or will, I think it's an easy crutch for the quiet to lean on. I'm going to motion that we table this discussion until a special meeting tomorrow, as you suggested.
Well, we'll go through a roll of availability so that we can schedule that meeting by the close of business tomorrow.
Great.
Is there a second, Councilor Tata?
Not a second, but I do have a question. Would it have to be a date that's agreed upon by all counselors?
You should all be available.
I don't want to see this be a meeting where one person isn't available. That's my concern. So we won't schedule this if we're not all available.
It makes no sense to schedule it when you're not all available.
I mean, I don't think I'm not supportive of it. I think we should just figure it out tonight, and whether some people want to vote on a recess or not vote on a recess, but I think we can, we've already had 2 months, so I don't know what another 2 days is going to do. So I'm okay with continuing this tonight, however we see fit, whether we debate, we talk about switching votes. If the majority wants to take a recess, I'm okay with any of those options just to figure this out tonight. Thank you.
I think we're still looking for a second.
Is there a second on the motion to table to a special meeting?
Yes, I would second that.
Okay.
So we can vote on it.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, may I speak?
Sure.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, our first official meeting as a new council will be January 24th, correct?
Or 23rd?
23rd, 23rd, I apologize, yes. So, and this council cannot function without a chair.
If I could address that just as a practical matter.
Right.
Typically, the agenda meeting would be on January 16th. So
Right.
at the very latest, that's when this should be resolved.
Sounds good. So there's a week and a half at least, or so,
A week and a day.
a week and a day.
I mean, what's that beyond another 2 months?
And
Right.
point of order, Mr. Chairman, I believe the charter only allows you to manage the meetings for the purposes of selecting a chair.
I wouldn't disagree with that or suggest otherwise. I have no intention of doing otherwise.
My point was that we could let this rest and settle it at a later date and still be well within, the rules. I have no problem staying tonight and trying to settle it. But again, for understanding purposes, and this has nothing to do with transparency, politics, FOI, so forth, allows for people from individual parties to caucus. So I understand, and I understood that the suggestion of recessing was to perhaps allow the Republicans to caucus and see if they could settle it. Yes, among themselves. Again,
The Democrats
not
could
relying
caucus
on
too.
what?
The Democrats could caucus
We
too.
could do that too. But my point is they could caucus to try to settle their differences and not rely upon us to settle it for them. That is what moving to another day might allow for as well. Or we could stay here tonight and do this, and I'm fine with either one. But it should be clear that, there's nothing underhanded in trying to settle this tomorrow, in recess, tonight. I personally think people need to work together and figure out what their alternatives are. And I think we came into tonight, many people came into tonight with the expectations that sooner or later, one of the, or two of the three of us on the Democratic side were going to settle this for them. I'm not going to. I'm being honest to everybody. I'm not making this decision for you. I can't speak for my two Democratic colleagues. So with that understanding, you need to think about what you're doing as a nominal majority. Your responsibility as the majority that was elected was to select leadership. That was your responsibility. And you need to do it. And if you can't, then you need to pass it on to someone who can.
Councilor Tata?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Respectfully, with all due respect, Councilor Testa, I don't see this as I don't see this as the Republicans' responsibility. I think the way I look at it as we should each be choosing the person who we think is the best choice to be chair. And whether it's a Democrat or a Republican or an unaffiliated, to me, it doesn't matter. I nominated Councilor Marone because I think he's the best person for the job. If we want to take a recess and caucus, that's certainly fine. But again, that kind of puts it on parties, and I just hope that we all just choose who we think the best person is. So whether we do that publicly, that's fine too. But that's just my view at this point. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So any further debate, Councilor Fishbein?
And I've said this more than once since I've been up here. I love having Vinny Testa up here. But I must point out, it's a 3 to 3 to 3. So, Councilor Testa, when you say, I'm not going to solve this for you guys, I say the same thing. I'm not going to solve this for you guys because, and what hasn't been said, the charter requires 5 votes. So some of you may be thinking, well, it's a 1-vote switch. No, it's a 2-vote switch, actually. So, we're all in the same boat here. Because the charter doesn't say exactly what, I respect everybody who's up here, and, the fact of the matter is that it's a 3 to 3 to 3, and here we are. So that's the fact of the matter. So that's all. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So there is a motion to adjourn this meeting to be rescheduled for a special meeting, and a second. And there's been debate. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Allenson,
No?
Carmody, Fishbein,
No.
Laffin,
Yes.
Marone,
No.
Regan,
Yes.
Reynolds,
No.
Tata,
No.
Testa.
Yes.
So the motion fails. So let's all stare at each other. I'm going to encourage you to take a recess, but you all do what you want.
I make a motion that we take a 5-minute comfort break, possibly, for anybody who wants to get up, use the bathroom, come back.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. See you all in 5.5 minutes.
That one.
call the meeting back to order. And when we went into recess, we had a perfect three-way tie. And at this point, it is up to the council to figure out how to resolve this. If there's no resolution tonight, then I suggest that we not keep each other here. And tomorrow morning, I will poll the council. I will offer you Wednesday night, Thursday night, or Monday night to meet again, and hopefully we can get the 9 of you together for that. So, is anybody left here from the color guard? Should we retire you? All right, thank you. Thank you. So if there's no change in the three-way tie, then I encourage you to adjourn this meeting, and we can reconvene and resolve this. And I see heads nodding, and I don't see anybody saying anything differently. Councilor Tata?
Oh, I'm just saying differently.
Oh, that was a yes?
A yes to continue the meeting or a yes to adjourn the meeting?
To adjourn the meeting.
So I'm a no.
Okay, well, in either event, are we continuing debate, or is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Mr. Mayor, I have offered recesses and I have offered tabling, that have, both of which were not widely accepted. Because everybody wants to settle it tonight, that's fine. So I think I have offered the consolations so far. If somebody else wants to offer tabling, I would be supportive of that, but I think I've already done that.
I make a motion to table this meeting for further discussion.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Allenson, seconded by Councilor Testa. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Councilor Tata?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think maybe before we entertain that motion, I mean, we did just spend a while all discussing. I don't know if anything maybe did change. I don't know if we want to vote again or have a little bit of discussion before we decide to adjourn. Since we did just spend some time discussing, maybe something changed.
Okay. Well, under the pending motion, if you guys want to have a conversation, of course, I'm not seeing the wave go across the council desk. So I'm going to call the vote. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
I'm sorry, is this a vote on the table or a vote on the chair?
Vote on the table.
Okay.
I'm not
No.
hearing anybody change their votes. So,
Okay.
to adjourn.
Allenson,
Yes.
Carmody,
Yes.
Fishbein,
No.
Laffin,
Yes.
Marone,
No.
Regan,
Yes.
Reynolds, Tata,
Yes.
No.
Testa.
Yes.
The ayes have it. This meeting is adjourned, and I will email you tomorrow. Thank you all for your patience.